Davos has had a week of real reflection, and actually I've seen a huge amount of humility, frankly, relative to many of the previous Davoses I've been to. And I think what is very striking in a year of quite tumultuous change which defined 2016, it's very clear as we go into 2017 there's a lot more confidence around the macro level growth dynamics, despite all of the political uncertainty. So I think the economic conversation is actually quite a positive one. But the uncertainty that really existed through 2016 on a political level is going to continue through this year. And obviously today is the inauguration of a new president. I think there's still a degree of anxiety about what that's really going to mean in terms of policy execution as the new administration comes into play, and concerns around trade flows. I think that's the biggest issue. I've got to believe that common sense and the good ongoing relationships that have defined the United States connection with the global world are going to continue. And I think that's going to be very, very important to the continued growth of the economy globally. That said, I think this was a week too where we got more definition around the plans for Brexit from Theresa May, and we've had the Chancellor of the Exchequer in town this week as well. And I think it's been very interesting to see that as the UK has probably defined what Brexit means for them more clearly, it's also very clear that within the European leadership, there's a lot of soul searching going on right now in terms of how Europe really defines its core mission again and the light on the hill for Europe. And I think we're entering into an undefined period now of a 2-year negotiation of Britain's exit from the UK. I don't think that's going to have any real economic impact in the short term. And actually, I think what I heard today was, particularly from some of the leaders, the important leaders, particularly the Minister of Finance from Germany, was a commitment to really find an outcome which is good for Europe and good for the UK. And I think that's really important too, that we hear that type of dialogue being articulated in a very, very public forum like Davos. But I think in addition to that, as I think about our clients going forward, it's also very, very clear that the expectation around the leadership from the corporate sector has gone to another level in the global economy. I think it's very clear that the challenges of inclusive growth, so how we're really bringing along the developing markets through the continued evolution of globalization, which is going to continue, that trend is not going to stop. We're going to continue to see the consumer demanding goods and services delivered anywhere in the world as quickly as they can from wherever, while at the same time the need to really be very, very focused on how organizations, as we drive this change in many, many industries around the world, how organizations stay close to their community, create new jobs. It's no longer, clearly the governments and policy makers are saying this is not just our job, but they're relying increasingly on companies and corporations and new innovators and new startups to bring forward the ideas for new jobs in the economy. And I don't think that answer is clear at all coming out of Davos. Probably the biggest unanswered question is, as technology evolution continues to accelerate on a fast pace, are we going to leave behind big segments of our communities who are either aging or lower skilled, that are not going to be able to change and evolve quick enough as the economy moves forward with all this technology evolution that's taking place?